Alright, hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to review One Punch Man chapters, I think 107 only because it comes out bi-weekly. Didn't do an Easter video, but I was with my family and had fun, so, didn't have a computer. Then we're gonna do the Solo Leveling, chapters 67 and 68. This time I have a name list, but then we're gonna continue on with Names Are Hard, episode 3, with The Last Human, with the 2 new chapters, or 3 new chapters that were out. Yeah, 3 new chapters that came out in the meantime. The problem with that is I looked for a character list, I couldn't find one, so we're gonna have to guess the names again, sadly, sorry about that, but I just can't remember most of the names. It's still a great manhwa, it's just that I'm not used to Korean/Chinese names, so it gets confusing to me as a German, a European American, whatever. Both. German American. And then we're going to look at, I think, what was it? One more. I had one more. Ah, yes. A Returner's Magic should be special. Now, that one is... It used to be good, then it used to be bad, and now it's getting good again, so I guess I thought about giving that one up because it was pretty boring in this arc, but the arc is finally getting to the combat part, so, that's the thumbs up for me. And then I'm going to actually split the video into 2 parts and do the manga separately from the manhwa, except, yes, One Punch Man is a manga, but it comes out bi-weekly, so I'm putting it with the manhwa. Whatever, I'm not trying to confuse you. But I just thought putting them all in one video would be a bit too much, and yeah, so let's go with that. Also, I could do a One Punch Man anime review. I mean, the anime season, second season of One Punch Man has just started, and I gotta say, it's how to describe this, not terrible. So I was expecting it to be terrible because everyone was just talking it down. And now I'm thinking maybe that was a marketing thing or just a thing where they try to get people to downgrade their expectations. So because the quality is slightly lower, or it is lower than last season, I think they want people to downgrade their expectations so that they would not be as disappointed from the new season. And honestly, I'm kind of feeling the hype. It's pretty good. The fights are... not as epic as they were in the first season, that's for sure, but they're okay, they're good. They're good for anime standards, they're good fights, so I guess we should measure it as an overall anime, not compared to the first season, which was exceptionally good. So compared to overall anime, it's a pretty good anime. And yeah, we're getting into Monster Hunter, or Human Monster Garo, and his arc, and we're finally seeing Saitama the first time he's looking at or joining the martial arts tournament, so that's quite fun, and he's gonna join the martial arts tournament, so he will be prepared to fight against Garo, but of course at the end of the episode, he already neck chopped Garo, just like, because he saw the wig he wanted to wear, if you don't know One Punch Man. Okay, so basically Saitama is trying to, the main character guy, or Caped Baldy, or Bald Cape as they say in the anime, but in the manga I think it was Cape Baldy as the hero name. So basically the Saitama, he wants to impersonate Chiranko, needs a wig for that because he doesn't have any hair, and Chiranko has some weird freaky looking hair, I guess, like a pineapple or something. Pineapple, like Marco, I guess. No, Marco has less hair from One Piece. But yeah, he wants to impersonate him, and then he just walks around trying to look for a wig, and as Garo stands in front of the exact wig he's looking for, he says, "Oh, finally found you," meaning the wig, and Garo's like, "Huh? Some low-rank hero who's trying to up his rank by attacking me? Well, I'm just gonna take him out," just neck chops him, drives him into the ground like what's that, like 20-30 centimeters, something like that, just by chopping him really hard, and Saitama's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" "Go to sleep, bro." And neck chops him and he's down. After seeing him take down an S-class hero, just to show the difference in power. And this is, I think, gonna be a running joke with Garo. Well, not really, but I don't think this is the last time Garo runs into Saitama without Saitama even knowing who he is. But yeah, we're getting farther along than that in the manga, where we're at chapter 107, not available, or N/A, I think that's not available. And we have a cover page that is this sports girl, and I think I can show the cover page, I don't know, and she is by far one of my favorite characters alongside Fubuki for, I think it's obvious why. I don't need to say it, right? You know what I mean. I like sportsy girls. I'm not very, so I need to lose some weight to conform to my own standard. But yeah, so basically, yeah, you get the fight between Tatsumaki and Giro Giro. Giro Giro does this whole compressing people into earth shit that we also saw with Fubuki trying to do that to Saitama, just in bigger, basically. And Tatsumaki's just like, is this all you got? This is fucking weak. And basically uses a few pebbles. Basically, Giro Giro uses a bunch of rocks to try to crush her. And then she just frees herself by basically just moving one finger. And then she uses a few pebbles to just shred Giro Giro's arms off. And I'm not going to show the panels for like copyright reasons on YouTube, I guess. But you should read it yourself, obviously. And then Giro Giro does this awakening shtick that she already had with this, that every monster seems to have. So, I am even stronger now, and I'm still gonna get shredded, because why not? S-class heroes, I guess. We had at the entrance of the monster hideout, there was another monster that had been implanted a bunch of eyes from like Psychers or something, or Espers in this case, they're called. Psychers is the 40k term, that's a bit different. From a bunch of espers, and he said like, oh, this makes me a lot stronger, whatever, and basically the same thing is happening here to Giro Giro, and she uses super gravity times dry 100, I'll crush you, whatever, and Fubuki is just going into her petulant child mode, like, yeah, my shoulder's been a bit, not feeling not so well because of a new pillow, could you just a bit more pressure on the right. Thank you. Something like that. So she's like, yeah, this is pretty comfortable. And Giro Giro's like, what? Well, no. And trying to crush her even more. And Fubuki just like opening her eyes all the way. I don't know. That shows an Esper is using all their power, or at least, a significant amount of power, I guess. I'm not quite sure, but that's like an anime trope, I guess, or a manga trope. And just fucking shreds Giro Giro, just like spinning her around and wringing her out, basically like a like a wet towel or something. And Giro Giro's like, shit, I shouldn't have fought her because she's just way too strong. And it's like, oh, you beat me, I give up. And Tatsumaki's like, that's just a meat puppet. I'm just gonna pull the real you out of there, and then we can have some fun, because your meat puppet's not gonna feel any pain. So we haven't seen Giro Giro's true form yet. I'm kind of interested in what that's going to look like. Maybe it's like the one eye or something. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's the floating eye thing. I'm not quite sure what Giro Giro's true form will be. Her true form will be. Apparently it's a she. I know she's associated a lot with eyes flying around or being around there, but I'm wondering, is it just the eye? Is that her true form, or is there something else? So that's going to be a bit interesting. Then she calls for Lord Orochi. Now, Giro Giro states she brainwashed Lord Orochi to follow her commands because he's way more powerful than she would ever be. And so when she made him the monster, she brainwashed him to make sure that even when he became more powerful, he would still listen to her. So now she's calling him, and basically they're waiting, like, yeah, well, it doesn't seem to be on his way. He seems to be taking his sweet time, so I guess we'll continue having some fun here. It's basically Tatsumaki's. It's like, he's not showing up. I mean, I don't want to say. And then Tatsumaki does this thing where she's like arrogant, but actually saying something nice about other people for once, which is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. What was that? There's this meme. What was it? A surprise to be sure, but a pleasant one or something, or a welcome one, something like that. I can't remember the memes exactly. But she basically said, well, the other S-class heroes are nothing compared to me, but they do seem pretty strong, so maybe one of them took care of Orochi. And it's like, yeah, I don't think that any other S-class hero can take care of Orochi. I think he's a tad bit stronger than most S-class heroes here. Maybe Blast, maybe Tatsumaki. I'm not even sure about... no, Silver Fang can't, right? Silver Fang is number 3? Yeah. And, what was it? Metal Knight already died against, maybe not died, but Metal Knight already lost against either Orochi or someone in the Monster Association, so it's not him either. So yeah, basically the last few panels are really epic. You see Saitama just looking down, and the Monster Association has basically been split down the middle, and I think that might be the Emperor Nova hole that came from Child Emperor basically blasting a hole into the ceiling. I think that might be the hole, but the thing is, it has a weird form. It's not really round, it's more like an oval, I guess, eye-shaped. That's an oval, right? Yeah, I think it is. Again, I grew up in Germany. I don't know the shapes exactly. I might not always know all the words. But that's just an excuse, so I shouldn't make that. Basically, you see all these dragons' heads on like snake or hydra things. I don't know, since he's the Orochi, Yamato no Orochi, the 8-headed serpent or something like that. How many heads are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so it's more than 8. But yeah, you see all the dragons' heads basically biting into the side of the Monster Association and just pulling up Orochi because he can't fly, but he's pulling himself up basically like we would with hands, with all his weird snake-like appendages. And then we get this double-page spread, and yes, I'm risking copyright strikes. No, wait, am I? I don't know. I'm just gonna show this panel because look at this. This is fucking epic. This is pretty epic. And so we're probably gonna get a fight between the two or not, because basically what Orochi says, like, well, I don't know who you are, but you're not useless trash, and I don't think I can ignore you. I can ignore everyone else in this building. Tatsumaki, screw her, she's fucking weak. Like, screw everyone else, but you, I can't ignore you. Basically, saying that to Saitama, and Saitama's just like, I mean, I got a bunch of streakers, so like the two naked ninjas running past him. I got a bunch of weirdos. I got a cat. I got a dog. But what the fuck is this thing doing under my house? Why is this under my house, basically? I mean, this is like you going into your, basement, basically, and seeing like a giant fucking, I don't know, maybe what's a good comparison? I don't know. Maybe there's a giant snake or something. It's just not... I think that would still be less worrisome. Basically, going into your basement, finding something like that, it's like, yeah, I'm not sure I want to be living above this. But yeah, the thing is, apparently, and I read parts of the web manga too, so I guess this is going into web manga spoilers, but Orochi apparently really wasn't in there, or at least he wasn't seen, and I didn't read that far ahead into this arc in the web manga, but he wasn't in the web comic, sorry, he wasn't in the web comic, so what could happen here is that Saitama just takes him out after taking out like 3 cadres already, which would be, I mean, that would show that the heroes are pretty fucking useless, because Saitama basically takes 3 out and everyone else doesn't do shit. Except for, I think, yeah, Zombie Man took out the vampire dude, right? But he wasn't a cadre. Have we seen a cadre lose so far, except to Saitama? This is a good question, actually. So who are the Monster Association members? So let's see. I'm going to look up a list and then try to go by memory. There we go. Okay, Giro got taken out by Tatsumaki now. So, okay, she's gone. Overgrown Rover got taken out by Saitama. Goketsu got taken out by Saitama. Elder Centipede got taken out by Saitama. Orochi is still alive. Black Sperm still alive. Evil. So no, there's actually only one executive or cadre that got taken out by an S-class hero, and that's Giro. And I'm not 100% sure if she's actually like executive level. Like, she seems to be strong, but is she stronger than Elder Centipede? Is she stronger than Goketsu? I'm not actually sure. I don't think she's actually stronger than them, to be honest, because, I mean, maybe I'm undervaluing her here because she got fodderized by Tatsumaki. Honestly, that might be the case. Like, Tatsumaki just fucking, I don't know, she just made fodder of her, so maybe that's, like, lowering her in my opinion, but I'm thinking about it, thinking about the fact that Gero, the eye monster, she had basically had trouble confining Gero, and Gero at that point was not yet executive level. He did lose to Overgrown Rover, and he didn't take on any other like dragon level threat. So I'm not even sure if Gero is she a dragon level threat? I'm gonna go to the wiki entry and look at that real quick. So, level dragon. Okay, so she is a dragon level threat. And maybe she's the second strongest, I guess. Dum 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 dum. Oh well, so basically it's not really, I can't find it immediately. It probably is somewhere in there, but I can't find it immediately, so I'm just gonna say Gero is a dragon level threat, and she's probably on the level of the executives, but there's a few executives that could be stronger or will become stronger than her. I think, yeah. Okay, so she's probably like mid-tier executive level, and she got fodderized by Tatsumaki. So, okay, so Tatsumaki is not useless, we already knew this, but everyone else basically hasn't really faced a executive yet, or at least hasn't won yet. Elder Centipede, I think Bang and Bomb and Genos tried to fight Elder Centipede, but all of them failed, but that was mostly because Elder Centipede was just too tanky. And really they couldn't do anything to him, but it's not like they got killed or severely disfigured by him. Genos climbed inside his mouth at one point, trying to incinerate him from the inside. That didn't work, but really they didn't really do any damage, but they didn't get any damage really. So yeah, okay, I'm a bit interested in how this is going to go, because what we saw now was basically all the S-class heroes as a setup against like demon level, high demon level threats, maybe above demon threats, as some people would say. What's her? The Black S or whatever. Oh yeah, Phoenix Man. Okay, Phoenix Man turned into a dragon level threat, right? And Hellfire Flame and Gale Wind both were dragon level threats. So they were, all three of them were like low dragons or mid dragons, and they got beaten by S rank heroes, but they weren't executives. Okay, so that's okay then. I think, okay, so what's it? Flashy Flash, that's the one. Flashy Flash, and Child Emperor already showed that they were useful enough, I guess you could say. Useful enough. But not executives yet. So we saw them taking on, dragon level threats, maybe even like high demons or whatever. And now we're going to see them go against executives, and the executives are most likely going to fodderize them, except Nyan. He did not win against, what's his face? The Puri Prisoner, right? So he didn't even win there. So I should probably get to the Soul Living review. Okay, let's make it about 20 minutes. Let's make it short. Anyway, so Puri Prisoner, he was a bad matchup for Nyan, but technically he sort of made him run away, which I guess counts as a win. So we've seen some rather impressive W's for the hero, like wins. This is a gang sign, right? I don't want to be shot, so I'm not going to do that. West Coast, wasn't it? Something like that. I grew up in Germany. I have no clue about this shit. Except from what I see from gangland documentaries. Anyway, no, so we got some fairly impressive wins from the heroes so far, but now we're going to see them be fodderized, and I don't want to spoil anything, but like Black Sperm especially, in the webcomic, spoiler alert, in the webcomic, and everyone else plug your ears if you don't want to hear it, in the webcomic, basically what happens is Garo awakens to a monster form, like a true monster form. We've seen inklings of this, and we've seen signs of this all throughout the series, where he learns new techniques from his enemies. He becomes more and more like a monster. He basically, just like with his clothes are basically sticking to him at this point. They can't come off anymore. They're kind of woven into, like, part of his skin basically now. And some of them, because of his many wounds, basically probably fused because of the blood or something. But yeah, his clothes are now fused to him, just like what was it, Phoenix Man's clothes got fused to him. And we're basically seeing step by step Garo getting stronger, but also turning more and more into a monster. And he will finally turn into a monster against Black Sperm, who in his golden sperm form will become also one of the like most threatening monsters, I guess, in the Monster Association, who will also basically get an upgrade. Black, well, let's call him Black S. I'm just realized that YouTube might not be too kind with me saying the word sperm that much, but yeah, that's his name. I mean, what the fuck. But yeah, I'm thinking that because Orochi was not part of the webcomic, he might get killed by Saitama, but I think this is more likely to happen, is that Saitama is gonna basically punch him and he's gonna fall down or something like that. Or Saitama will have a semi-epic fight with him while everyone else down below is basically brawling it out, while Garo is becoming a monster, while Black Sperm is turning into Golden Sperm. While everyone else is getting stronger and powering up down below, doing their Dragon Ball transformations, whatever, and fighting each other, he's gonna battle Orochi a bit. I don't know, maybe. Or he's just gonna take him out in one punch. Either way, I think really what Orochi boils down to now is like a delaying tactic to wait for everyone else to get into position so that Saitama can basically come in and fight Garo at the end, which is going to be a very fun fight. I'm just not gonna spoil that, but it's gonna be very fun. Yeah. So that's about it for this week's One Punch Man, but we're gonna continue on, of course, to Solo Leveling. Apparently I'm just going to fill up 1 hour with these four then. No, but I think One Punch Man, especially like the manga by Murata, it's just awesome. It's great art, it's very epic fights, I think it's very well drawn. I think Tatsumaki honestly is drawn a bit disturbingly because first of all she doesn't wear any underpants and we never get to see it luckily, but I don't know, that's just a bit. And I'm saying luckily here because she looks like a child too much. Like she's too childlike, even though she's, yes, in the lore of the universe, she's like 26, I know, but no, seriously. Tatsumaki. And I mean she doesn't really look like, I don't know, whatever. It's just that she's a bit too sexualized for my taste, let's put it that way. Unlike Fubuki, whom I really would enjoy wearing something similar to Tatsumaki, but whatever. She's a bit more filled up. Alright, let's continue on to Solo Leveling, because I think that's one of the other better ones. And in Solo Leveling, we get 2 chapters, 67, 68, because I didn't do a review last week. And we see Chahe-in, which I got the character list right here, so let me see. Chahe-in is the blonde girl who is the vice captain, an S-rank vice captain of the, what's it called? What? I just read some major spoilers on the wiki. Shit. That's, Well, crap. I just spoiled myself. That's very unfortunate. I read the wiki and the wiki is up to date, I guess, more. Ah, fuck my. Okay, I spoiled myself. Now I need to read the fucking light novel again just to get up to the spoiler point, which is very sad. But okay, so Chae-in is like the vice captain of this this Hunters Guild, basically, and she basically finds Sung Yin Woo in the boss room, and she's the one always covering her nose, and she's like, wait, so Sung Yin Woo got out his dagger out of his like inventory or whatever, and she's apparently patrolling the place because she's nervous that the boss will leave its room, which is I guess reasonable fear, because everyone would die if it did. And she basically covers her nose because hunters, for some reason, stink for her. Like, the smell is apparently very bad. So she basically walks past Sung Yin Woo, and she notices that he doesn't smell bad, so it's like, there's no stench, oh my god. She gets like her little Desu moment, I guess. looks at his name on the card. Are you even a hunter? Oh yeah, you are actually. Huh, that's interesting. And then the end of the chapter, she tries to find out who he was. In the next chapter, in 68, we basically get the guy saying, yeah, well, the boss of the guild also asked me about him, but apparently, yeah, apparently the the organization, the monitoring division sealed all the records, which is a bit weird for an E rank hunter. So I'm kind of confused why they would seal the records for an E rank hunter. Yada yada yada. And that's probably because he just got classified as S-Class, and they seal like the S-Class records, but it's not official yet that he's S-Class, so basically they sealed his records because he now is S-Class after his reawakening and his training, and they don't want anyone else to look into him too much, because everyone's already looked into him. Everyone who has already looked into him wanted wanted him to wanted him to join their guild and whatever. So yeah, whatever. I'm just looking at these spoilers and I'm like, god damn. god damn, that's pretty screwed up. Oh well. Huh. Anyway, I'm getting slightly confused here just because I spoiled myself, and I can't mention what it was. It was something about Chahe-in, but that was a pretty big spoiler, and I just ruined my day with that. That's unfortunate, because now it's like the next few chapters I'm gonna wait for that to happen. It's like, shit. Anyway, so he did a good job, mining job. He gets invited to the next dungeon. Basically, it's like, wait, you're going to go for another dungeon? Yes, another A rank gate, which is the highest rank. Or, I think it's A rank. Yeah, A rank is the highest. And apparently the Hunters Guild is so big, they have a B team. And he got invited to join the B team and the mining. And he's like, okay, sure, why not? And in chapter 68, they basically, the B team comes to them and says, well, look, we're basically missing someone to carry our luggage, or not our luggage, but our equipment. Can someone please do that? Because our porter didn't come today, so we're kind of in a bit of trouble. And everyone's like, no way, I'm not gonna do that. It's way too dangerous. We could get killed. And Sang Yun-woo is like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And it's like, dude, you're new here and you're an E rank hunter. What the fuck? But of course, they don't know. He's S rank hunter. He'll be fine. The thing for that is it feels like a bit of setup, honestly, for the attack team. And this is like at the end of the chapter, something comes towards the attack team. They all get into battle pose. But something comes for them. And it feels like a setup for like the attack team either getting wiped out or knocked unconscious or whatever. And Sang Yun-woo basically taking out whatever threat there is and either impressing them or whatever, doing something like that. So I think what's going to happen is that there's going to be a bit of danger for the B team, and Sang Yun-woo is going to be the one to take it out and either impress everyone in the process, or they won't notice because they're all knocked out. Something like that's going to happen, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to find out for sure after I read the... Actually, you know what? No, I can live with this spoiler. I'm not going to read the light novel because... No, I'm not gonna do that. That would be bullshit. I'm not gonna do that. Alright. Because this way I know one spoiler, but I don't need to spoil like everything that happens within these gates for myself too. I mean, I don't think the logical conclusion to getting spoiled is spoiling yourself even more. I think that doesn't make much sense, so yeah. But again, solo leveling, as always, it's not a lot of what's it called? Not a long chapter, let's put it that way. Not a long chapter, and that way we don't... Well, we're basically almost done already. We get one more scene with this, Yo Yin-oh. I would have never remembered that name without my name list here. Without Yo Yin-oh, we would have... We would have... crap. I'm confusing myself right now. I need a second. Reboot. NPC.exe has shut down. No, manga nerd. I don't know. What am I? What would I be classified as? Oh well, whatever. Anyway, the rebooting. All right, there we go. All right, so Yo Yin Ho. I think you might be confused about the names too. Yo Yin Ho is the blonde dude that basically is like his best friend, and that went on this beginner's mission with him. I'm going to show a picture of this guy. He looks a bit angry in this one. Maybe we'll find a better one. He's basically Yo Sun Hyun, which is his cousin. He's basically talking to her, and they bring up this other guy here. So Hyungnim is his nickname for Sang Yin-woo, or Sun Yin-woo, whatever, who's the main character. And he's a bit of an annoying crybaby, to be honest. But yeah, basically, blah 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 blah. There we go. So this is a much nicer face of him. There we go. Yeah, so he wants to recruit Sang Yin-woo to his father's new guild, so he can become the guild master and whatever. But of course, they haven't talked in a while, and he's basically just trying to get like an appointment or some time to talk to him set up. And yeah, that's that's about it from their side. There's one little thing that I flashed over just now, where there's some, like, apparently some superstar who does, like, Hallyu star Lee Min-sung. Again, I can't remember all these names without a character list, so this is, like, names are confusing part 3, I guess. It's gonna take some, maybe in half a year or so. After reading this thing for a year, I'm probably gonna be able to remember all the names, but it's gonna take a while. Anyway, so it's mentioned in the background that this guy, Lee Min-sung, who is like some superstar from some boy group in Korea, he's like, apparently he's an attention whore, and he got his evaluation, and he's officially announcing his evaluation to be in 2 days' time, which is like the exact same day of Sang Yin-woo's re-evaluation and his new rank assignment of S rank. And basically, he already got his A rank certified, the Min-sung guy, and he basically wants everyone to pay attention to his A rank certification. So he's basically saying, okay, I know I'm an A rank, and I can make a big deal out of this because I'm an A rank, and that's like a very high position. Very few people are A rank, very few people are that strong. So I'm gonna make a big like media spectacle out of it. But of course, the same day he's gonna do his reevaluation, saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm an A rank. Pay attention to me. I'm great." It's gonna be the same day the 11th S rank hunter of South Korea is announced, Sang Yin-woo, and he's probably gonna steal all his thunder. And I think that's gonna be like a side plot, or like a mini plot, mini confrontation between Min-sung and Sang Yin-woo, between the main character and this attention whore guy. Because of course the attention whore is not gonna be happy that the other guy's evaluation is stealing his thunder, so to say. Yeah. So yeah, let's look forward to, in the next chapter, seeing Sang Yin-woo either witness what an A rank team can do, or basically, sorry, my bad. Or basically, take out the threat that the A rank team was not able to handle, confirming his S rank and whatever. Something like that's probably gonna happen. Yeah. I wanted to do a video on the power, like the power system of One Punch Man, because Nuxtaku did a video just recently, and honestly I was kind of disappointed because I think he got it all wrong. I think he actually missed the entire like system that's behind One Punch Man's power system, which is actually one of my favorite ones. And I haven't read JoJo's yet, and I haven't read Hunter x Hunter, so those are most likely better. I've been recommended reading Hunter x Hunter very warmly by some of my, manga nerd friends, so I'm gonna take their word for it. I believe it's very good, but honestly, the One Punch Man power system is highly underrated, because basically how it works, and this is a very short breakdown. Yes, I'm going back to One Punch Man, but I wanted to tie this in with solo leveling, honestly, but this is gonna be a bit hard, so I'm just gonna go One Punch Man. Basically what the thing is, you have a goal, you work towards it, and what you have is a limiter, basically. This Janus, I think, the scientist basically explained it like this. Okay, I think we got two expositions on the power system, one by Janus and one by Giro. Janus basically explained God put in place limiters, And you're not, that's basically a cap on your strength. That is how strong you can become. You're not supposed to go beyond that. But you can break your limiter and go beyond that kind of strength, like Saitama did. And, then you will become the strongest in whatever area you're looking at. And Giro basically explained it like this, is that whenever you're going to the limit, going to close to death, basically, whenever you're getting close to death and you survive it, in the One Punch Man world, you will grow stronger from that. Every time you go past your limits and you maybe you break down a bit, but you survive, you will basically get stronger by that. And so what happened is, basically, Garo, what we're seeing with him happening right now is he goes into fights and he gets badly beaten up and he gets wounded and he almost gets killed every time. Right? He loses quite a lot, and he wins also sometimes. So sometimes he wins and he grows because he gets wounded a lot, or he starts losing and then he starts winning, whatever. And that's how he grows. He basically he fights, gets close to death, grows, wins. Fights, gets close to death, basically taking the L with getting close to death, grows, wins. That's how he basically goes. That's basically also what we saw with Phoenix Man. He gets close to death, he gets stronger. He gets close to death, he gets stronger. That's basically how this works. You need to get close to death to get stronger. And Saitama, what he did, basically every fight he had in the beginning brought him close to defeat. He always, when we see flashbacks of him, he always goes like, and this has been in season 2 also, we could see this, it's been a hard fight, but I won, basically. That's kind of how it usually goes. It's been a hard fight, I got close to death, but I won, and I grow stronger because of it. And I think the second factor in this is pretty simply that you don't only need to get close to death, but the direction you're taking with your training and the direction your will moves in also kind of decides which direction you're gonna get stronger into. So let's say Watchdog Man, for instance, he basically kind of learned a fighting style of a dog or something, ? And he basically learned to fight more like an animal than a human. That's how he trained. That's how he basically probably fought. This is my speculation, we didn't get this confirmed, but I'm assuming that Watchdog Man wanted to be like a dog, wanted to fight like a dog, because, well, he's Watchdog Man. So he basically tried to adapt to the fighting style an animal would have, and he trained in that fighting style, and in the end he broke his limiters in that direction, into like his dog limiters or whatever, right? And Garo tries to do that as a monster, so he'll become a monster. And other monsters like the, what's it called? Like Orochi, let's say he trained martial arts, and he's like, he can do everything. He's a genius basically with martial arts, so he gets like several-headed serpent. He gets like the 8-headed serpent style, whatever, with all the snakes and stuff like that. I think this is not so clear maybe yet, but I think what happened with Saitama, the reason he's like the strongest of them all is because he did the most human training. He's fast because he did the runs. He's strong because he did the push-ups, sit-ups, whatever. And he's tough because he fought so many times where he got close to death but won, that basically he's like the pinnacle human. He trained to be the strongest human, basically. And everyone else kind of trains to be something else. I'm not sure about Puri Prisoner. He's like, his bristle armor, he's training to be like I'm not quite sure what he's training to be. He's a bit weird. Let's put him, but, so the power system basically works like this. You have the will component, you have the training component, you have the getting close to death component. That's all three things you have to have. You have to have a will into a certain direction. You have to train according to the direction you want to go in with your emotional, whatever direction. And then you need to get into fights that you need to either win or get close to death in, but you need to learn from them, and you're not supposed to die, obviously. So if you do a natural monster transformation, I think it was mentioned with the monster cells that if you eat them, you kind of basically get a rank, and you're not really able to grow very much after that. So basically you get pushed past your limits, but you're going to stop growing after that. There's kind of like a new cap imposed by the monster cells afterwards, where you can't grow as strong as Orochi is by monster cells. You have to do it the natural way by basically what I just explained. That's what Giro basically said, I think, in the conversations she had with Garo. So, for instance, Crablante, who was like this joke villain at the start, the giant crab monster, he turned into a monster naturally. So if he had fought a bunch of people where he got close to losing or dying but not quite, or where he won after a very hard fight, he could have grown into a much more threatening crab monster, basically, because his was a natural growth into it, whereas the monster cells, to every one of the contestants, and this is, I guess, anime spoilers, at the end of the tournament arc of the fighting tournament, all of the contestants get the choice put in front of them. Either you eat the monster cells, become monsters, or you die, basically. But all of them grew a lot. All of them who took it, like half of them took it, half of them didn't. All of them who took it grew a lot. But that was basically then the new limit of their growth. They couldn't go beyond that. Whereas Garo, or whatever the other guy's name is, I forgot, this martial arts guy, Siryu, I think, yeah, Siryu, those guys grow naturally, so they could go even further than they were at that point. Yeah. Alright, so that's the One Punch Man power system explained as short as I can, and we're going to go on to the last human. Basically, I got something wrong. They go into the blood bank, right? And one of the guys basically gets bitten by one of his friends. There's like a group of other people in there, with one evolved among them, and the rest of them just carrying guns, and one of them gets bitten by an infected. Now, what happened there, and I didn't really realize this until I reread the chapter, was that the evolved guy, level 1 guy, went ahead, fought a monster, and then got turned into a zombie and came back and bit his comrade, basically. So the evolved guy wasn't the one who was bitten. I was a bit confused about that in the last review. The evolved guy was actually the zombie who was doing the biting. And now we see the evolved zombie being pretty scary, attacking his group of friends. One of them is already down, so there were 6 friends. And they basically go backwards, firing in a somewhat organized fashion, which is pretty good, but 2 more of them die, and basically 3 make it out. And then we see the evolved zombie, and we see... Now, I had the other Korean names, now I forgot this main character's name. Zhou Tiansheng, there we go. We see Zhou Tiansheng going up against this evolved zombie and killing him, decapitating him in one blow. That's pretty good, just showing how strong he is. And they basically go inside and say, like, well, there's a new type of monster here, it's a blood brain. And he explains, well, blood brain is like a 3rd level infected, who's able to convert even the evolved people into zombies, because it's like this, basically. So, new power system, I guess, in The Last Human, Moshi Fanren. Basically, there's a zombie apocalypse due to the meteorite. Everyone gets infected with the Ebola virus. Those who don't get affected get the chance to, but don't always necessarily evolve. Evolving means you get like some sort of tattoo, some sort of strength buff, or endurance buff, or speed buff, or whatever. Different kinds of buffs. And you will become immune to the virus if you get bitten by a zombie if you are evolved. So if you're even at stage 1 evolved, if you get bitten by a normal zombie, you're not going to turn into a zombie. If you're not evolved, you're going to turn into a zombie. That's basically it. Then if you grow, and you grow by fighting or training or a special breathing technique that Zhou Tiansheng knows and everyone else doesn't, which is why everyone is basically wants him to be on their side, because everyone wants to learn how to evolve faster, obviously. But he's like, well, wait, so he has pretty fast growth, but yeah, so there's basically 3 ways of growing in your evolved state by utilizing the Ebola virus in everyone's blood, and at some point you can do it faster by fusing with parts of the meteorite that basically brought the virus in the first place. But yeah, so the ability to convert basically means that the blood brain will make a certain person, even evolved people, will make them into their slaves, and he will be able to convert even like low-ranked evolved people. And after a while, the blood brain will just end up sucking all the blood out of the evolved, So again, blood brain, basically a monster that sneaks its tongue into your ear, which is, depends on who you're doing it with. But in this case, it's not that sexy. So even the evolved or non-evolved will basically turn into zombies. They will get a strength buff, but after a while they will suck their brain and blood out, the blood brain. So yeah, that's not great. And the blood brain tried to get into the blood bank, which Zhou Tiansheng is also trying to do. And yeah, Zhou Tiansheng, basically, they go inside of the treasure room. The blood brain is not capable of, is not capable of breaking into it because it's like maybe a tier 2 evolved or whatever, and Zhou Tiansheng is tier 3, so he can do whatever. Okay, so the blood brain is tier 3 evolved, but it has the fighting strength of a tier 2, basically. Whereas we saw that scythe monster that was like rank 1 evolved or rank 2 evolved, but had a fighting style that was stronger than its evolution level. So we see this every now and then where some zombies have special abilities that make them above or below in fighting strength, but give them other perks or benefits or whatever. Then the blood brain obviously tries to take over Zhou, but he of course notices and takes it out. And the teacher Lu is a bit shocked by the brutality with which Zhou takes out the monster. But they take all the blood they can take into their freezers and are like, okay, let's go. And then they see another evolved woman who kind of looks like the Black Widow or whatever from the Marvel universe, with a whip, which is, oh come on, that's pretty cliche. It's pretty stupid. And she has huge boobs and a huge ass. Just thought I'd mention that. I don't think she looks that attractive, to be honest. I think it's a bit overdone with her. She's over-sexualized and just looks kind of stupid and arrogant. But she seems to she has that bimbo look, but she seems to be a bit smarter than she lets on, because she's basically like, look, we need the blood, and Zhou Tiansheng's like, well, tough shit, we need it too, there's some more in there, go get it. And she's like, yeah, but you probably took all the good blood, and that's a bit too much. Can we please have it, because we have like a bunch of injured or pregnant people that need like the blood for transfusions, and of course Teacher Lu needs it for drinking. Because of her armor form. She got infused with a piece of the meteorite when she wasn't evolved, and she turned into a black armor zombie instead of different kind, or instead of dying, which is the two other possibilities, I guess. Which is apparently a high level evolved, but she needs blood, human blood, or generally blood and meat to survive, basically now. New diet. And so Zhou Tiansheng doesn't want to give away the blood that's, that he got for her, but then the woman basically throws him a bunch of meteorite crystals and it's like, look, we'll trade you this for the blood, and probably he's going to go, oh shit, yeah, sure, why not, because the meteorite crystals, we heard before, are very valuable in that world, because they can be used to basically infuse yourself with them and grow even stronger. That's how Zhou Tiansheng, he has like an upgrade where he's like a normal path. He can turn one of his arms into a punching arm, I suppose. It looks a bit like from One Piece, the Destruction Can IDEO, a bit, just except the shoulders aren't quite as high, but it looks a bit like that and packs quite a punch, no pun intended. And he used the meteorite crystal to basically do the other arm too. Now he has like both arms like IDEO in One Piece. Yeah. Let's see. Do we get a good view of his form? Yeah, let's see here. I'm gonna show you one. So here's this, like, look, with the thing, it looks a bit like that, doesn't it? Come on. You can't tell me you're not reminded of One Piece's IDEO. IDEO, whatever. IDEO he, IDEO ho. Yeah. That's the Numa Numa song. Why the fuck did I get reminded of that? I cursed, that's not good. But why the hell did I get reminded of that? I have no idea. Oh well. I think I might have gotten a cold yesterday, which is kind of weird, but yeah. That's why my voice might sound a bit weird. Now, The Last Human, I would review it here, but the thing is, we already did 50 minutes, and really the problem with that is right now that I don't really, I can't really remember the names that well, and yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Basically, what we got in the last 2 chapters was a fight, a pretty epic fight, between Sword Magic Lady, which I forgot the name of, with the Ice Palace, like the Ice Sword Master, whatever, fuck, whose name I completely forgot. Yeah. I'm looking. I can't find her name. It's not being mentioned here. What the fuck? Okay, so she's but the sword magic lady is fighting against the blood red Columbine, who's like a berserker type magic swordsman and arrow like magic what's it called? A magic archer who's incredibly strong, and basically, yeah, he's fighting her, and she's like, well, I can't lose to you because I want to be stronger than the she starts losing. She starts getting beaten up after dispatching of all the basically fodder with one shot. She starts getting beaten up by the blood red Columbine, because he's just like berserk mode and way stronger than her at that point. And just before he ends it, she decides, no, you know what, screw this. She basically takes off the armor, and uses a different technique that she got taught by, I forgot his name. See, this is why names are hard part 3, because I can't remember their names for shit. I will become stronger. Dezia Arman. Okay, there we go. Actually, maybe a returner's magic should be special characters. There we go. I apparently looked that up last time, and I didn't get an answer last time. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so Dezia Amran, whatever, is like the main character's name. Oh, there we go. Okay, at least we get like the main. Oh, nice. This is good. Okay, so Adjest King's Crown, like the queen's daughter or cousin or whatever, some royal family schnitzel. She's basically the one who. What do you call it? She's basically the one who's fighting the Blood Red Columbine Massacre Boy, whatever, right now. And I'm looking at, maybe there's a different character list somewhere. Nope, there's not. All right, so this is the best I got. At least the 4 main characters. That should be enough for now. She fights him, and she says, well, I want to be as strong as the main character, Dezia, who went back in time. Like, actually, that's like 3. I have 3 fucking mangas where basically something like that happens. They die. And then they get reincarnated in some form to get a second chance. Where it's Sun Yin Woo from Solo Leveling, a Returner's Magic should be special, Dezia Amran, and the Zotian Sheng from The Last Human. All 3 of them have basically a similar backstory, which is, I just noticed that Returner's Magic should be special has pretty much the same backstory. It's a bit weird. Apparently that's like a trend right now with manhwa or manga. But yeah, she uses an ice sword, which is pretty cool, because when she clashes with the guy, she freezes her sword, freezes his arm off, hacks it off, and basically kills him with that. So that's a technique she learned from Dezia, and it's pretty strong, and honestly, I'm wondering why the fuck she didn't use it earlier. Like, this should have been something she should have used earlier. But yeah, so Dezia and Pram they got captured by the chief of the castle, and basically they got put in chains, and he's like, well, why the fuck did you even know about this thing happening? What the hell was up with that? So yeah. Whew, my voice is starting to give out. I should really take a break and maybe do the other one later if ever. Man, I just got up. It's a bit not enough caffeine or not enough time, one of the two. Maybe what I should do next time is read, go for a jog, and then do a review or something, but yeah, whatever. That was the chapters for today. I'm going to try to get out at some point, although I'm currently writing on my bachelor's thesis, so it's going to be a bit hard to do it. But I'm going to try to get out like summary videos on all 4 of these at some point, so we can all get caught up to date with the basic plot, so that I won't have to explain it every time I review these things. I think for the manga, I can pretty much assume that people are caught up to the plot, and if they're not, well, that's tough shit, I guess. But yeah, for the Last Human, Returns, Magic Should Be Special, and Solo Leveling, for those 3 at least, I should do like summary videos of the plot, because they're great manhwa, but I think many people could be a bit confused of what they even are. Although I think the people who find this video on a small channel like this, people who find this video will not be confused about that. I'm pretty sure people who find this video will already know the plot, so yeah, there we go. That's the reviews for now, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.